Welcome. So today we are going to spend our time unpacking an article about what has to be one of the most profound scientific achievements of the modern era.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about DeepMind's AlphaFold. And this isn't just hype from the tech world. This technology recently secured a shared Nobel Prize in chemistry.
It did, and that context is so essential.
Right. So our mission here really is to give you the shortcut to understanding why. Why a committee in Stockholm just recognized this as the biggest advance in chemistry for 2024.
Because when you just hear the headlines, AI, algorithms,
Mm-hmm.
the core achievement can get a bit lost. The Nobel recognizes Demis, Hassabis, and John Jumper for finally solving what was basically biology's 50-year-old geometry
The
problem.
protein folding problem.
Exactly. And AlphaFold is really transformed from this cool piece of software into what we have to see as foundational scientific infrastructure.
I like that framing, infrastructure, because when you see how it's being used, it's become what a lot of researchers are calling the Google Maps of biology.
That's the perfect analogy.
Okay, so let's get into the core problem itself. For anyone who's not deep in this world, what exactly is the protein folding problem?
What's so fascinating is that every living thing, every single cell, runs on proteins. They're the microscopic machines of life.
They do everything, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
Pumping ions, catalyzing reactions, fighting off viruses. And every one of these machines starts as a one-dimensional string of amino acids.
Just a straight line.
Think of it like a really, really long piece of yarn with 20 different kinds of beads strung along it.
And the sequence of those beads is determined by our genes.
Precisely. But that yarn doesn't stay straight. The second it's made, it just spontaneously folds itself into an incredibly complex, unique 3D shape.
And that shape is everything.
It is everything. The function of that protein is entirely determined by its final geometry. And if that folding goes wrong, if that 3D shape gets corrupted,
That's where diseases come from.
yes, that can lead directly to devastating diseases. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, cystic fibrosis, you name it.
So for 50 years, science had the recipe, the 1D sequence. But they were basically blind to the final product, the 3D shape that actually does the work.
Exactly. And it's a massive puzzle. There's this concept called Levinthal's paradox.
Okay.
The number of possible shapes a single protein could theoretically fold into is, well, it's larger than the number of atoms in the known universe.
Wow.
So searching for the right one computationally was impossible. Even the biggest supercomputers would need, billions of years for one protein.
That really puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
So if computers couldn't do it, how on earth did they do it before AlphaFold?
With a lot of effort.
Yeah.
The main method was X-ray crystallography. It's an incredibly demanding physical process.
So this is all in a wet lab.
All in the lab. You had to purify the protein, usually people say it's like herding cats,
Yeah.
and then try to get it to form a perfect crystal.
Which I assume isn't easy.
Many vital proteins just refuse to crystallize. But if you get one, you blast it with X-rays and then try to figure out the shape from the diffraction patterns.
That sounds incredibly slow.
Excruciatingly slow. You're looking at maybe a year of work for a specialized lab. It could cost upwards of $100,000 to solve one structure.
For one.
Yeah. And after decades of that work, the entire global database, the protein databank, only had about 170,000 structures in it.
Okay, so then AlphaFold comes along and just sidesteps that whole physical process. It treats it as a pattern recognition problem.
Exactly. It doesn't search through all the possibilities. It learned from that database humans built.
From those 170,000 examples.
Yes. The AI trained on those examples and learned the implicit rules of physics and evolution. So now you give it a new sequence, and it predicts the distances and angles and builds the 3D model.
And it goes from a year in the lab to what?
Minutes on a GPU. With an accuracy, that is, for many proteins, comparable to those painstaking experimental methods.
Let's talk about the moment it really broke through, AlphaFold 2 or AF2 at the CASP14 competition in 2020. What is CASP?
CASP is basically the World Cup of structural biology. Scientists submit the sequences for proteins whose structures are unknown, and teams from all over the world compete to predict them.
And before AF2, the results were okay.
They were okay, but not great. AF2 didn't just win. It basically broke the competition. And the accuracy was so high it was considered indistinguishable from the real experimental structures. It was a genuine earthquake in the scientific community.
And that's what won the Nobel. AF2 solving the protein problem. The story doesn't end there.
Not at all.
AF2 only handled single proteins. Now let's talk about AlphaFold 3, which came out in May 2024. Why is AF3 being called the shift to true digital biology?
Because biology isn't just about single proteins floating in space, right? It's an ecosystem,
It's all about the interaction.
the interactions. And for drug discovery, what you really need to know is how a protein interacts with DNA, with RNA, and most critically, with small molecules called ligands.
Which are what most drugs are.
Exactly. Most drugs are ligands. AF2 couldn't model that. It was a great research tool, but it was limited for designing new medicines.
So what's the big change in AF3 that lets it do that? I read it uses a diffusion approach, like an AI image generator.
That's the key. It's a completely different architecture. Instead of building the structure piece by piece, the diffusion model starts with just a random cloud of atoms in 3D space. Noise.
Like static on a TV.
The perfect analogy. And then, using everything it's learned, it denoises that cloud, pulling it all together into the final stable structure of the entire complex.
So it's not assembling it, it's revealing it.
Exactly. And that approach is way more flexible. It lets it model not just the protein, but the DNA it's grabbing and the little drug molecule you're trying to fit into its pocket.
Yeah.
That's what unlocks true AI-driven drug discovery.
That makes the leap from AF2 to AF3 so clear. Okay, so now let's tackle the question that always comes up, the skeptic's question.
I know the one.
Has AlphaFold actually cured anything yet?
Right. And the answer is nuanced. The AI gives scientists the map, but the scientists still have to drive to the destination, you know.
But that map is letting them drive a whole lot faster.
A whole lot faster. We're seeing discovery timelines that used to be years get compressed into months. And we have really concrete examples of this.
Let's talk about that speed. The in silico medicine case with liver cancer seems like a perfect example of this, a project that was just stuck.
It was completely stalled. They were targeting a protein called CDK20 for liver cancer. They knew it was important, but no one had ever solved its structure.
So it was a dead end.
In the old world, yes, it was basically untouchable.
Yeah.
But they used AlphaFold to predict the structure, which instantly gave them that 3D map. From there, they used their own AI tools to design a molecule to fit it.
And the timeline on that was?
They went from having no structure at all to identifying a brand new viable hit molecule in 30 days.
30 days, that's a different paradigm.
It changes the entire economics of early-stage research.
And it's not just for commercial drug pipelines. I mean, the malaria research at Oxford, they were stuck for years on a vaccine.
For years, they were working on a protein called PFS4845, which is on the surface of the malaria parasite. All the experimental data they could get just looked like an unresolvable blob.
So they couldn't figure out how to target it.
Couldn't target it effectively. The moment the public AlphaFold prediction was released, it just provided instant clarity. It showed them the exact domains they needed to go after. It was the key that unlocked years of work.
But maybe the biggest story here is democratization. It's not just for big labs at Oxford anymore.
This is the most powerful part, I think. It completely removes the barrier to entry. You don't need $1 million cryo-electron microscope anymore.
Right.
Take milioidosis. It's a drug-resistant bacterial infection, kills almost 90,000 people a year, mostly in Southeast Asia and Northern Australia.
And research on it has been underfunded.
Exactly. But now, researchers at the National University of Malaysia are using AlphaFold to map out the key proteins of the bacteria. This is research that was just prohibitively expensive for them before. Now all they need is an internet connection.
Which brings us to the centerpiece of that effort, the AlphaFold Protein Structure Database, the AFDB.
Yes. DeepMind didn't just release the software. They ran it on almost every known protein sequence.
And put all the answers online for free.
Over 200 million predicted structures. Freely available. That is the Google Maps moment. The data shows over 1 million users from low and middle income countries are accessing it. It completely levels the playing field.
So that's the massive utility. Let's talk about the massive commercial side. Demis Hassabis spun off Isomorphic Labs. What kind of money is Pharma putting into this?
Staggering amounts. It really validates the tech. Isomorphic has these massive deals.
Yeah.
One with Eli Lilly potentially worth up to $1.7 billion in milestones.
A bill.
And another one with Novartis, $37.5 million upfront. Big Pharma is paying for speed and for a higher probability of success in the riskiest, earliest stages of drug discovery.
Which brings up a really important reality check. AlphaFold makes the discovery part faster, finding the target, designing the molecule.
Front end, yes.
But it doesn't speed up biology itself, the clinical trials.
That is a critical point. You might shave, say, 3 years off the discovery phase. But you cannot simulate the full complexity of a human body yet.
Right.
So phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials, They still take the same 6 or 7 years. AI accelerates the science, but it doesn't and shouldn't compress the regulatory timeline needed for patient safety.
We also have to talk about the limitations of the tool itself. Where are the biggest risks if a scientist trusts an AlphaFold prediction too much?
The biggest risk is forgetting it as a prediction, not the absolute truth. And there are two main traps. The first is what's called the disordered problem. Many proteins have these floppy, flexible parts called intrinsically disordered regions, or IDPs. They're like wet spaghetti. They don't have a single fixed shape.
So what does AlphaFold do when it sees wet spaghetti?
Well, it's trained to find a stable structure, so sometimes it kind of hallucinates one. It'll give you a beautiful, neatly folded region that doesn't actually exist in reality. And that could send a researcher down a completely wrong path.
So how does someone using it know if the model is confident or just guessing?
Thankfully, they built in a safeguard, a confidence score for every part of the protein. It's called a PLDDT score.
PLDDT.
If that score is low, say below 50, the model is basically shouting at you, I'm making this up, do not trust this part for your drug design. You have to check that score, it's non-negotiable.
And the second big limitation is the static trap.
Yes. AlphaFold usually gives you one single stable snapshot, a beautiful statue of the protein. But proteins aren't statues. They move, they breathe.
An enzyme might open and close like a Pac-Man or something.
Exactly. An AlphaFold might predict a closed state, but the drug you're designing only fits when it's open. It can miss that crucial dynamic motion, the dance of the protein.
So for people listening who want to start exploring this, what's their on-ramp?
The access is really wide open. The AFDB, with its 200 million structures, is completely free for everyone, commercial, academic, anyone.
And what if you want to make a custom prediction, say with a new drug molecule?
If you're an academic or non-commercial researcher, the AlphaFold server is also free to use. And there was a huge recent development.
The code release?
Yes. DeepMind released the code for AlphaFold 3. That was a massive win for the community. It means labs can run it on their own computers, they're not reliant on Google servers, and it's not a black box anymore.
So looking ahead, AlphaFold was the first step. What's the next generation of these alpha tools enabling? We're moving from just reading biology to
writing it. We're seeing a whole family of these tools emerge. There's AlphaMissense.
What does that do?
It looks at every possible single-letter mutation in the human genome, all 71 million of them, and predicts if it's benign or likely to cause disease. It categorized 89% of them.
Oh, it's just an astonishing scale of prediction.
So the massive shortcut for genetic research.
Right.
And then the final frontier, actually designing new proteins.
That's AlphaProteo. It solves the inverse problem. You don't give it a sequence and ask for a shape. You give it a function.
Like, I want a protein that does X.
Exactly. I want a protein that binds to this specific cancer cell receptor, and it will generate a brand new, never-before-seen protein sequence that does that job. We're really moving into synthetic biology.
That just sums up the whole phase change so well. The Nobel isn't just for a clever algorithm. It's recognizing that biology is shifting from being an observational science
Looking through microscopes, describing what we see.
to becoming a predictive engineering science, where we can simulate and design life's machinery in a computer before we even pick up a pipette. And if you take one thing away from our conversation today, remember the human side of this. The real prize here isn't the gold medal in Stockholm. It's the graduate student, right now in a basement lab somewhere, who just downloaded a file for a protein that was impossible to solve before, who just saw a mechanism no one has ever seen, and who is about to have an idea that could save a life. That radical access to knowledge, putting these world-class tools in everyone's hands, that is the true potential you should go explore next.